know it's kind of early in the morning, but I'm going to turn off the lights for a second. Okay. Now with your eyes closed, I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now with your eyes closed, I want you to think about for a second. Instead of thinking about how many years of life you have left, try thinking about how many breaths of life you have left. Now take another breath in and all the way out. With each one, think about this. How can I make each breath count? What can I achieve in years that I can achieve in breaths? If you cannot think of anything years you can achieve in a minute, I have an idea for you. Yoga. Yoga is a breathing practice. People who practice yoga are called yogis. That is exactly what they do. Yogis count their time with each inhale and exhale, making every breath smooth, long, and peaceful. There was a time in my life where I didn't feel very healthy. I would eat junk food all the time. I didn't exercise as much as I would have liked to. And even though I looked and seemed okay from the outside, inside, I was always in a funk. The smallest things would irritate me, and even the tinier things would anger me. A good friend of mine who had just earned her international license to teach and practice yoga had just come back from Thailand and suggested that I try yoga. So I decided, why not? I have nothing to lose, right? After one session, I felt rejuvenated, but it was also very tiring. I was sore and in pain, but it made me feel better, so I decided to go back a second time. The second time, I felt the same. I felt faint and I felt sore, but this time I was feeling better and I learned to drink a lot more water during the practice. So I ask you, if you do not feel 100% during your waking hours, have trouble sleeping, or not getting the results from your regular workouts, I recommend you try yoga. Yoga is definitely something that everyone should try and or incorporate into their daily routines, because yoga can ultimately enhance your results and better your everyday outlook on life. There are several different types of yoga, but today I will be talking to you about the basic advantages of yoga as a whole. Yoga could benefit anyone, from anyone wanting physical improvement to someone struggling every day from feeling lethargic or dealing with mental uneasiness. Yoga can help you feel more energetic and alive. As most people know it to be, yoga is not simply methods of stretching. It is using a series of isometric contractions along with your breathing to help increase flexibility, mobility, and strength. Yoga helps increase your physical health. Your physical health is improved through yoga by toning your muscles by balance, preventing future pain, and practicing better breathing practices. Muscle toning is not something those who do hardcore workouts can benefit from. Not only does it help with stretching, but also by practicing yoga, you can help shape long, lean muscles. In Mary's testimony, Mary started a weight training regimen to lose weight. She started at 247 pounds and ended at 197. As time passed, she began to shed pounds and inches. As more time passed, Maria realized that she had reached a weight loss plateau. Knowing she had to mix things up, she tried yoga, and she yielded two major results. The first point is that Mary says, I love the way yoga pushes you to align your body to lengthen and open your back, chest, hamstrings, and everything in between. Those places that tweak and tingle the stress you carry throughout the day are blissfully relieved. The tightness in your hip flexors should loosen its grip. Yoga gives you an opportunity to clear your mind and get in good, healthy sweat. I would have to agree with with Mary, because when I first started practicing yoga, not only did I feel rejuvenated, but I think the reason I felt rejuvenated was because I was able to stretch the muscles and the joints that I don't usually get in everyday life. As it turns out, yoga is the perfect yin to my weightlifting game, Mary says. They couldn't be two more different disciplines or serve different purposes, but combined together, it delivers powerful fitness results. My week now consists of a blend of weightlifting, cardio, and yoga. This new exercise cocktail has jump-started my weight loss again and provided the much-needed variety that keeps me energized and focused. The muscles I push and grow in the gym are stretched and loosened in yoga. The balanced postures I work on in yoga help strengthen my stable foundation for weightlifting, which creates a perfect harmony. Mark Henderson, a former world record and Olympic gold medalist in the 4x100 medley relay at the Atlanta Games, is a strong advocate for yoga as well. Mark states that, in my opinion, every athlete, irrespective of sport or discipline, has the potential to enhance his or her ability to adopt a consistent yoga practice. I would go so far as to say that if you're not practicing yoga, you're competing at a disadvantage and missing an opportunity to enhance your peak performance. Some of these results that he has yielded include improved strength, flexibility, and balance. Improved strength has helped him to prevent injury. It achieves better core body stability, and he utilized muscles that he ultimately never used as a swimmer to help balance his overall strength. As a swimmer, yoga helped him improve his joint muscular flexibility. Improving his joint and muscular flexibility served as a greater range of motion. Yoga also builds cardiovascular health, increasing lung capacity and improves respiratory function and heart rate. A study was conducted by Paula Chu, a doctoral candidate in health policy at Harvard University. She studied a group of some thousands of people and separated them into three different groups. One group was to do any physical exercise, which is not yoga. One group did yoga entirely, and another group did no exercise at all. The health communication key stated that a healthy heart requires physical activity. If you aren't able to do aerobic exercises for simply practicing yoga, then you should know that it has the same effect of your heart health as other types of exercise. Simply saying that if you were to put yoga as your main way of being healthy, then it could possibly yield the same effects. Health communication key states that scientists concluded that yoga lowers blood pressure, heart rate, cholesterol, and other cardiovascular risks with the same intensity as with other types of exercises. Yoga and other types of exercises had beneficial effects on a few measures of metabolic and heart health. Yoga is not only practiced when it's surrounded by serenity, rather in your day-to-day life as well. It is a way to free your mind and eliminate negative people and energy. This improves your mental health. A few popular ways yoga improves your mental health is through helping fight against depression, insomnia, and my new favorite, laughter. Laughter yoga is a new exercise routine created to manage pain and distress. It was created by Dr. Madan Kataria because she deals with patients with postpartum depression. And as she was practicing yoga, she realized that when you make patients laugh, it also helps with their mental health and helps them improve their day-to-day life by increasing their mood. It has the ability to elevate the mood stated by releasing endorphins, which is called a feel-good hormone that alleviates pain and provides a feeling of comfort and safety. Many of our patients bottled a lot of sadness up or depression because of their newly found situation. Laughter yoga helps one to accept the disability, and it provides relief from feeling of negativity. Yet, laughter yoga has also been known to help stress and anxiety by help lowering stress levels as it reduces stress hormones to enhance the levels of health. Furthermore, yoga helps people cope with anxiety and depression. Harvard Health Publication states that many patients during dealing with depression, anxiety, or stress, yoga may be a very appealing way to manage your symptoms. The evidence is growing that yoga practice is relatively low risk, high yield approach to improving overall health. Psychology Today states that everyone should take a stand for yoga today. Yoga has improved the mood, behavior, and mindfulness of high school students taking yoga classes in addition to their physical education classes. It is a relaxation response that accompanies these minds and body practices that lead to many improvements to physical and mental health. And now I'm going to show you some sites that are, or poses that are relevant in yoga.
I don't think the projector's on.
This pose is called the dolphin plank pose. It helps strengthen and tones the core, thighs, and arms. This one's called the locust pose. It effectively preps the beginners for deeper back bends, strengthens the back of the torso, legs, and arms. This is called the forward bend, and it helps open up the lungs for natural asthma relief. This one's called child's pose. It helps to calm the mind and relieve tensions in the body. And this pose is known as if you're having difficulty during your yoga practice, it's norm to go to this pose and to catch up with your breathing. This one's called the mountain pose. It's a good warm-up posture. The vigorous upward motion through the limbs and torso and the spreading of the toes and fingers will help invigorate your system and lift your spirits. Ultimately, it is clear to see that yoga patients benefits athletes and patients alike. From improving your physical health and flexibility and balance your mental health, whether you're suffering any illnesses or not. It definitely helps people achieve a sense of serenity within themselves. Now I leave you with this. Do you think yoga could help benefit your life? What are some personal goals you have for yourself that you think can be achieved by yoga? And lastly, what can you do to include yoga into your everyday lifestyle?
Don't turn the projector off, just put the picture mute on. Or did you already turn it off?
No, I just turned the projector off.
Don't worry,
Sorry.
that's okay. Abby, are you here? She's not here, okay. Well, I like the opening with the lights out and the visualization. I think you kind of make your point there pretty effectively, and you introduce the topic. I think once you get started, you should move to the center of the room. You basically, your 2 points of delivery are this side of the room and that side of the room, and it feels a little bit defensive. We're going to be talking about some delivery things, and I'll probably come back and remind everybody and use you as an example. Sorry about that. I thought the topic was nicely identified. I thought you had a good, clear thesis statement, but it does take you 2.5 minutes to get to that thesis, and that's a little bit problematic. It sounded like you were going to have a preview, but then it never showed up. I thought you did a good job kind of defining what the subject was, and the further you got into the speech, the more the research started to show up, so I appreciated that. I thought it got better as you went along there. Excuse me. I think organizationally you still have the same problem because there wasn't a very strong preview. I'm not exactly sure how all this information fits together. I think I can hear a couple of places where there is a natural division on subjects where you're talking about physical benefits and mental benefits, for instance, in one section. I say, well, okay, well that's at least one division of ideas that's going on there, but I didn't really hear much distinction on the other ideas, and I think that's a problem. I already mentioned to you on the delivery thing that standing on the opposite sides of the room is a little bit awkward. You also are doing a lot of reading. At this point, you should be a little bit more familiar with your material. I think you probably know yoga well, but you don't know your speech as well, and you probably needed to practice it a little bit more. Or maybe it's just because it's been some dead time between when you started and when you're getting a chance to do this. I'm not sure why, but it seems like it's a little awkward, especially when you're telling the stories about people who have benefited from this, and it sounds kind of dry when you're doing their part, when you're kind of describing the effect that it's had for them. The visuals all seem like an afterthought. It's like basically my speech is done, now I'm going to throw some other stuff in here, and it's completely disconnected from things that you talked about earlier. I like the images, they're nice and large, they're simple. You're basically just reading the material that describes each one of the poses and it's already up there, so I'm not exactly sure that we need that. I think it would be one of those places where it would be good to go back to your personal experience, talk about when do you do these poses? What do you get from them? In your routine, how often do you do those kinds of things? That might make it a little bit more interesting because you've got already the explanations or the descriptions up there, so maybe make it a little bit more distinctive and unique. All right, thank you.